students. Good morning, all of you. How are you, my dear students? Welcome to my channel. Fresh new faces and a fresh new teacher also. Right? So, are you ready? So, what do I teach? You know that I teach physical chemistry. Right? So, excited to listen? Okay. So, as I told you, students, the first unit I will deal with is gaseous state. Okay, as it is a little bit easy and also easy to learn. Okay, so please open your books, that is the physical chemistry notebook, and write down today's date and put the heading as gaseous state. Okay, so little introduction I want to give regarding this chapter. Students, we all know that there are three states of matter. What are they? Solid, liquid and gaseous states. Okay, so a small kid also will be able to answer this question, right? There are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gaseous states. We also know that a substance can exist in one state at room temperature and it can exist in other two states at different temperatures. Okay, shall I give you an example? Okay, so let us take water. Water exists as liquid at room temperature. It can also exist as a gas above 100 degrees centigrade, and it can also exist as a solid at and below 0 degrees centigrade. Okay, at room temperature a substance can exist in one state, whereas it can also exist in other two states at different temperatures. Okay, and you also know that, students, a solid can be converted into a liquid can be converted into a gas. How can we convert a solid into a liquid? By heating. Similarly, liquid can be converted into a gas by heating. Okay, so now coming back, that is vice versa. A gas can be converted into a liquid. How? By decreasing the temperature. That's what I am writing here, by cooling. Similarly, a liquid can be transformed into a solid by cooling, that is by decreasing the temperature. Okay, so that is how we can change the physical state of a substance by changing the temperature, right? Now, there is also a situation where a solid can be directly converted into a gas without conversion into liquid state. How? By heating and by cooling. Do you know what this process is called as? Yes, this process is called as sublimation. Okay, I think I don't need to tell you all these things because you will be knowing, or you might have studied in your earlier classes, but my intention is to give some introduction to the chapter. Okay, now let's move on after this to ideal gas equation. Put the side heading. Ideal gas equation. Write down neatly, students, ideal gas equation. This also you must be knowing how ideal gas equation is derived. Okay, so but I will explain in my own way. Before deriving the equation, first let us know what an ideal gas is. Put the side heading. Ideal gas. So what is an ideal gas? An ideal gas is the gas which obeys gas laws at all ranges of temperatures and pressures. Okay, write down the definition, students. A gas which obeys gas laws. A gas which obeys gas laws. Don't look here and there. Please write down the definition. Please be alert, students. A gas which obeys gas laws at all ranges of temperatures and pressures is called as an ideal gas. Okay? And the molecules of an ideal gas, they are far apart from one another. So what can we infer from this point? We can say that there will be less intermolecular forces of attraction and repulsion among the molecules of an ideal gas. Got it, students? Understood what an ideal gas is? Now, coming to the gases in nature. No gas in nature is an ideal gas. That means no gas obeys gas laws at all temperatures and pressures. Okay, so but there is concept of ideal gas, which we can say that it is simply hypothetical or theoretical. No experimental proof. Okay, so what is the opposite to ideal gas, which doesn't obey gas laws? Do you have an idea, students? Yeah, that's called as real gas. Now, how to define real gas? How to define real gas? Just exactly opposite to ideal gas. Please kindly write down, students. A gas which doesn't obey gas laws, but tend to show, T-E-N-D, tend to show ideal behavior at low pressures and high temperatures. Okay, a gas which doesn't obey gas laws but tend to show. What's the meaning? Tend to show means they try to show ideal behavior at two conditions. They are low pressures and high temperatures. Not exactly they show ideal behavior, but they try to show ideal behavior at what conditions, students? Low pressures and high temperatures. Okay, so write down the definition once again. A gas which doesn't obey gas laws but tend to show ideal behavior at low pressures and high temperatures is called as a real gas. Okay, so note it down, the definitions of ideal gas and real gas. Shall we derive the ideal gas equation now? Put the side heading derivation. After writing these two definitions, put the side heading derivation. Ready, students? Okay. So, in order to derive ideal gas equation, we should know three laws. What are they? Put the side heading. Number 1, Boyle's law. Put the side heading Boyle's law. Many of you must be knowing the statement of Boyle's law. Even then, I am going to dictate the statement. Please kindly write down. Okay? At constant temperature, volume of a gas at constant temperature, volume of a gas is inversely proportional to pressure of the gas. At constant temperature, volume of a gas is inversely proportional to pressure of the gas. Full stop. Write down the expression V proportional to 1 by P brackets constant temperature. V proportional to 1 by P brackets constant temperature. Written, students? Moving on to the second law. Put the side heading Charles' law. Put the side heading Charles' law. Write down the statement. At constant pressure, comma, at constant pressure, comma, volume of a gas is directly proportional to its temperature. Full stop. Write down the expression. V proportional to T brackets constant pressure. V proportional to T constant pressure. Written, students. Next, moving on to the third law, that is Avogadro's law. Third one, Avogadro's law. Write down the statement. At constant temperature and pressure, comma, equal volumes of gases contain equal number of molecules. Full stop. Write down the expression. V proportional to small letter n, students. Don't write capital letter N. V proportional to N in the brackets constant temperature and pressure. Okay. Written all the three laws carefully. Now what we should do, we will combine all the three laws. Okay. So below write down. Combining the above three laws. We get below write down, students. We get see, students, left hand side in all the expressions there is volume. So we can combine the right hand side portions. So what do we get? V proportional to, in the numerator 1, here T, here N. So I am writing NT in the denominator P. Okay. So have you written? Combining the above three laws, we get V proportional to NT by P. If I remove the proportionality, what is to be written? Here comes a constant Rn T by P. Okay. Cross multiplication. PV is equal to nRT. What is this PV is equal to nRT called as? It is nothing but ideal gas equation for, don't stop there. Write down, students, put it in a box. Write down. This is called as ideal gas equation for n moles of a gas. Write down like this. For n moles of a gas. Full stop. Below write down. PV equals to RT. Now tell me. This is an ideal gas equation for 1 mole of a gas, right? When n is equal to 1 mole, this equation becomes PV equals to RT. Okay, students? This is ideal gas equation for n moles of a gas. This is ideal gas equation for 1 mole of a gas. Okay? Now what is this R called as? Yes, it is universal gas constant. Write down below where capital R, put it in inverted comma, students. Where capital R is called as universal gas constant. Universal gas constant. Full stop. You know, students, this R has different values with the different units. Okay, below write down the values of R. The values of R. Write down values of R. Write down the values, students. R is equal to, write down carefully, R is equal to 0.0821 liter atmospheres, mole inverse, degree inverse. See, I have written all the values on the board. 0.0821 liter atmospheres, mole inverse, degree inverse. Next, below 8.314 into 10 power 7 ergs, mole inverse, degree inverse. Below 8.314 joules, mole inverse, degree inverse. Next, 1.987 calories, mole inverse, degree inverse. Okay, so students, these values you should remember, because in second year, final year also you will be coming across the value of R. Okay, written, students? So students, moving on to the next topic after ideal gas equation, put the side heading deviation of gases from ideal behavior. Okay, draw a line, students. Below the values of R, draw a line. That means that is the answer for ideal gas equation. Okay, next topic is deviation of gases from ideal behavior. As I have given you the syllabus, under this we have two portions, part A and part B. So now we will study part A, that is effect of pressure on ideal behavior. Put the side heading A, effect of pressure on ideal behavior. Okay, written? So what is this effect of pressure on ideal behavior? See students, there was a scientist by name Amagat, A-M-A-G-A-T. Okay, so what did he do? So you know, students, you know, scientists always they are interested in doing experiments in the labs. Okay, so likewise Amagat also he has done an experiment. What was that experiment? He studied the effect of pressure. He studied effect of pressure on volume of a gas, okay, at a constant temperature. Okay, again students, I am repeating. Amagat studied effect of pressure on volume of a gas at constant temperature. Okay, so what did he do? He has taken few gases like hydrogen, helium, carbon dioxide, like that he has taken, and what he did was he was changing the pressure values and observing at this particular pressure what was the volume of hydrogen. Next he changed the value of pressure and he was observing how the volume of hydrogen is being changed. Like that he has done this experiment taking few gases. Okay, so now in his pocket he has a set of data. What is that data? Different pressure values, different volume values. Okay, so and what he did, using those values he has plotted a graph. Okay, between he plotted a graph between PV and P values. So did anyone get the doubt? he has done the experiment like this, right? Studied effect of pressure on volume of a gas. Then he should plot the graph between volume and pressure. But he has plotted the graph between product of pressure and volume and p-values. What was his main intention? So, students, for ideal gases, PV values remain constant. But he wanted to show these PV values are not remaining constant. Hence, he has plotted the graph between PV and P values. So, students, from that graph, what did he understand? He could study the nature of deviation and also magnitude of deviation. So what he could study, students, from that graph which he plotted between PV and P values, he could know the nature of deviation of a gas, also magnitude of deviation of a gas. Okay, so when he plotted, he could obtain a few curves like lines. Okay, and those curves are called as isotherms. Why they are called as isotherms, students? Because he has kept the temperature constant. Okay, therefore the curves obtained by plotting the graph between PV and P values of a gas are called as isotherms. Understood, students, the experiment what he did? Once again I am repeating. Please try to follow. Amagat, what did he do? He studied the influence of pressure on volume of a gas, keeping the temperature constant. Okay, so after that he has plotted a graph between PV and P values, from which he could obtain few curves which are called as isotherms. And these isotherms tells us the magnitude of deviation and the nature of deviation of the gases. Okay, so let us see how this graph looks like. So students, this is the graph plotted between PV and P values. P taken on x-axis, PV values plotted on y-axis. Okay, so carefully take a pencil and scale and please draw the graph carefully. A straight dotted line. The gases shown here: hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. So as you all know, as we move from here to right side, so the pressure value will be increasing. Okay. So he has studied the effect of pressure on volume. So slowly he has increased the pressure value and observed the volume of these few gases. Done with the graph, students? Still drawing? Girls, students, you should be fast. Okay. Now, see, there are 4 gases, 4 curves obtained. But there is one straight dotted line. It is not solid line. So, what is the significance of this straight dotted line? So, we have learned in the beginning, none of the gases in nature, they show ideal behavior. That means they do not obey gas laws at all temperatures and pressures. Okay. If any gas has ideal behavior, its PVP curve should be a straight line. What's the meaning of that? PV values all should be going like this. Same values. That means PV value should be constant if the gas has ideal behavior. Okay. Just to demarcate between the ideal behavior and the deviation, here it is shown the straight dotted line. Okay. Mention in the brackets there ideal behavior. Where? Near the straight dotted line. Clear, students? If any gas has ideal behavior, its PVP curve should be a straight line. But no gas has its PVP curve as a straight line. Okay. Now let us study about the curves of these gases individually. You can notice the difference between hydrogen, helium and nitrogen, carbon dioxide. What is the difference? See, H2 and helium, the PV values from the beginning, they are above the straight line. Okay. Then what about nitrogen and carbon dioxide? At the beginning, that means at low pressure values, the PV values, they are below the straight line. What does it infer? That means the PV values first they decrease and later as pressure increases, the PV values of nitrogen and carbon dioxide also increases. Okay. So now how to explain this above the straight line and below the straight line. So write down, in the case of hydrogen and helium, write down, students, in the case of hydrogen and helium, the PV values are higher than the PV values of ideal gas. The PV values of ideal gas, that is write down, students, the PVP curve, write down like this, the PVP curve rises from the beginning itself, full stop. It means that hydrogen and helium show positive deviation. Kindly underline this, students. Show positive deviation from ideal behavior. Positive deviation above the ideal line means the PV values are higher than the PV values of ideal gas. Okay. It means that H2 and helium shows positive deviation from ideal behavior. Underline this positive deviation. Full stop. Below write down. In case of N2 and CO2, in case of N2 and CO2, the PV values decrease first at the beginning. Decrease at the beginning. The PV values decrease at the beginning and slowly they increase. That is at low pressures. At low pressures, these gases show negative deviation. Underline. These gases show negative deviation. You are supposed to underline at low pressures, negative deviation, and positive deviation at high pressures. Underline positive deviation at high pressures. Full stop. Okay. So what did we understand from both the cases? Below write down. From the above two cases, it is understood that the PV values of the real gases are higher than PV values of ideal gas. PV values of ideal gas at high pressures. At high pressures. That is all the gases deviate from ideal behavior at high pressures. At high pressures. Full stop. Students, under this there is a short answer question I told you while giving you the syllabus, that is compressibility factor or compression factor, which gives us a clear-cut idea about the deviation of real gases from ideal behavior. Okay, so that we will be learning in the next class. For today, this much. Okay, hope you all enjoyed the class and hope I made each and every point clear to you all. Understood the lesson, students? Give a thumbs up if you like the lesson. Okay, so meet you in the next class, that is next week. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.